burning heart of the African savanna, a force rules that allows no weakness. The lion, an enduring symbol of power and authority, commands a land where life and dominance are decided in mere seconds. Here, every breath matters, and every movement can mean the difference between holding the throne or losing everything. Conflicts do not always erupt with roars. More often, they begin in silence through calculated stares, cautious steps across dry grass, and unspoken tension. Defending territory, protecting the pride, or challenging a rival demands constant risk. In this unforgiving world, power is never permanent. It must be earned and defended day after day. On the African savanna, nothing is guaranteed. Even the king can fall, beneath a sun that scorches the land and stirs clouds of dust. Each heartbeat becomes a test of survival, and every confrontation shapes the fate of those bold enough to stand and fight. This is Tsavo, one of the last strongholds for lions in East Africa. A scorched land where the ground itself seems to crack beneath the presence of apex predators. In the wild, a mane has long symbolized authority, protection, vitality, and unquestioned royalty. But in the searing heat of Tsavo, that display becomes a liability. Here, the king stands exposed, stripped of what was once his most sacred emblem. Yet nature has a way of defying expectations. In a land ruled by warriors without manes, those who were different began to stand out. They are few, but their presence commands respect. Their testosterone levels are unusually high, their immune systems remarkably strong. Conflict is inevitable. The former ruler quickly finds himself at a disadvantage. No blood has been spilled yet, but tension hangs thick in the air. From this moment on, the balance of power in Tsavo shifts dramatically. The maneless figures withdraw into the shadows. The era of crowned kings has officially begun. The path to dominance is paved with force. Coronation comes at a cost. first test is no ordinary hunt, it is the Cape buffalo, a living fortress weighing up to 700 kilograms, armed with horns that can span nearly a meter. Known as the Black Shadow, this animal is among the most dangerous prey a lion can face, responsible for more serious injuries than any other. A lone lion has only a small chance of escaping unharmed. But when the pride hunts together, those odds improve. At the center of every confrontation are the lionesses. This is where the new king proves whether he truly deserves the throne. The scent of fresh blood is sharp and unmistakable. Red dust settles over the fallen giant, and the message carries across the land: a new ruler has arrived. No one can ignore it. But authority is not maintained by strength alone. The pride must eat. That duty falls once again to the lioness's relentless hunters, who provide for the group while the males guard the cubs and defend the territory. This time, the target is the zebra. Weighing around 300 kilograms, it offers enough nourishment for the entire pride and poses far less risk. Its striped coat creates a visual illusion, confusing predators when the herd runs together. Identifying a single target or predicting its direction becomes difficult. But once the herd scatters, the chase favors endurance and the lioness has limits. Her heart cannot sustain a long pursuit. One precise bite closes the airway, and the struggle ends in silence. After a successful feast, lions need only a day or two to digest. For these rising nobles of Tsavo, hunger is not just discomfort, it is an unacceptable weakness. Their ambition reaches toward the impossible. The Maasai giraffe, an immense giant rising up to 5 meters tall. One well-aimed kick is enough to shatter a lion's skull in seconds. But predators understand the unforgiving laws of physics. The higher the body stands, the harder it falls. The giraffe carries an extraordinary heart, weighing up to 11 kilograms. Built to force blood upward against gravity and supply the brain, this constant effort creates exceptionally high blood pressure. When the giraffe flees, its heart rate surges dangerously, pushing its body to the edge of endurance. The lions are aware of this weakness. They wait, watching for the precise moment when the giant begins to tire. The stillness breaks. That is when they strike. Claws and teeth tear at the thick hide, targeting vulnerable points where strength gives way and balance falters. In the savanna, even the tallest life can be brought down when exhaustion takes its toll. The scent of the hunt drifts through the air, summoning the scavengers of the savanna. The lion's path crosses with the warthog its first major setback, even when they are not seeking to assert dominance. Lions often target this animal. It offers dense muscle, generous fat reserves, respectable speed, and above all, perfect adaptation to the dry landscapes of Savo. Active during daylight hours, the warthog shows no fear of the relentless heat. It shelters in abandoned burrows, deep tunnels that provide refuge beneath the earth. For the lionesses, these dens are like sealed containers, waiting for the precise moment to be opened. Everything depends on timing a single, accurate bite to the neck, delivered just as the prey emerges. Fate is decided at the threshold of its own home. When there is nowhere left to hide, prey is forced to flee toward the inevitable. Short legs cannot compete with the predator's lethal reach. The chase is often brief, but when the dry season stretches on, the suffocating heat exposes the true brutality of this realm. Resources begin to vanish, too. Cortisol floods the bloodstream, breaking social bonds. Now, the so-called nobles fight over the remains of an old, sick warthog. With empty stomachs, The crown becomes nothing more than a meaningless ornament, and when pride finally collapses, true humiliation is only just beginning. No longer able to resist beneath the claws, the prey turns to deception. Warthog burrows are built with multiple emergency exits, carefully concealed beneath the surface. As hunger tightens its grip on the lions, a thermal trap takes shape. Beneath the blazing sun, the warthog remains motionless, calm on the surface, waiting. Now, many of the gazes that once lowered before the king no longer do so in fear. The Nile crocodile has detected the scent of weakness. After extreme exertion, the lion's body drives him toward water to lower his temperature. At times, the river offers brief relief after a failed hunt. But hesitation is fatal. If the lioness reacts too late, the crocodile's bite, delivering nearly 22,000 newtons of force, can stain the current red. A counterattack. If the crocodile remains submerged, the lion stands almost no chance. Lions can swim, but they avoid water whenever possible. The reason is simple: their dense fur absorbs water, becoming a heavy burden that strips away speed and maneuverability. Yet even this aquatic predator observes a fragile balance. In this land, lion and crocodile are less sworn enemies than rivals bound by tolerance, not by mercy, but by mutual recognition and a primitive form of natural justice. If even a cold-blooded predator like the Nile crocodile can recognize it, the rest of the savannah will soon understand where true power lies. Not even the quiet architects of the endless plains are willing to bow to this crown. The contempt is no longer concealed. These young elephants, especially the males, are entering a phase of intense hormonal change. Their confidence and aggression are absolute. To them, lions are not worthy opponents in a direct confrontation. Yet the big cats remain a constant threat. Unable to bring down a fully grown elephant, they redirect their violence toward the next generation. The target is always the same, the weakest link, young, vulnerable, and often momentarily separated from the herd. At close range, the force of an elephant's trumpet is enough to shake the chest and completely disorient an attacker. The lion finds no clear point of entry, no opening to exploit. And now the question remains open from your perspective. Which animal poses the greatest challenge to lions during the hunt? Share your thoughts in the comments. But Tsavo is not a chessboard reserved solely for lion kings. Human perception has long burdened the spotted hyena with the reputation of a cowardly scavenger and opportunistic thief. A serious mistake. In reality, hyenas secure up to 90% of their food through hunting. Their true weapon is not brute force, but relentless endurance. With a heart disproportionately large for its body, the hyena can sustain high speeds for hours. It turns the hunt into a brutal test of exhaustion. Even a Cape buffalo can fall. The most vulnerable are always the young. A mother's desperation dissolves into the harsh, almost celebratory laughter of the pack. It is a savage world, but a functional one. And nowhere is this cruelty more evident than when the prey is a zebra. The attack begins from behind legs and hips. Jaws strike from every angle, like a storm of sharpened spears. The hyena does not wait for death before feeding. Eating fast is not cruelty, it is survival. no mercy here, no dignified endings. To spare an enemy is to sign one's own death sentence. Yet in the endless dust of Tsavo, scarcity forces even the hyena to yield. This is when that small percentage of theft becomes relevant. The target solitary hunters, leopards. Like lions, they drive their prey toward the mouth of a burrow. The prey's final scream becomes an invitation. The leopard relies on agility and elastic power. The hyena arrives with twice the mass and a bite capable of crushing bone. Solitude almost always loses to numbers and strength. But the leopard is not naive. It knows how to wait. Hunger sharpens patience. This time the target is an impala famous for its precision leaps and the leopard's suffocating kill. Then fate intervenes. The impala falls like an angel cast from the sky. The hunter is left empty-handed. So is the thief. Greed ruins the feast for both. The leopard has waited for this moment. Now it takes on the role of the raider. 1 second of carelessness is enough for hunger to strike back. The hyena's excessive weight condemns it to the ground. The tree becomes an unassailable fortress. Destiny changes sides except for the prey. For the cheetah, justice does not exist. To reach speeds of up to 112 kilometers per hour, it sacrificed strength and protection. After every chase, it falls into severe oxygen debt, and the hyena knows it. At any moment, the cheetah can become prey. Even with starving cubs at its side, it cannot afford to risk confrontation. Still, the hyena is rarely satisfied. Though the lion's dominance has slightly weakened, few dare to challenge them head-on. But ambition is not always born of hunger. In the darkness of a den, innocent eyes sleep without protection. Why are those cubs left defenseless? Because hyena society is ruled by an extreme and unforgiving matriarchy. Males occupy the lowest rung, wandering without purpose or authority. Females must hunt alone, recover their strength, and feed their young. That absence becomes a silent sentence. The piercing cry of spilled blood reaches the ears of the mothers. Pain ignites into a surge of raw adrenaline, plunging the old king into chaos, clumsy, overwhelmed, out of place in the sand. Help has arrived. No matter how many they are, even hyenas cannot withstand two lions standing together. Beneath the crimson dust of the setting sun, two kings remain upright, lungs burning, unmoved, as night slowly settles over Tsavo. The pride still stands, but the foundations of the throne are deeply fractured. At around 3 years of age, the young princes of Amboseli receive an unavoidable sentence: exile. To preserve the genetic strength of the species, sons must carry their lineage far from home. In time, these outcasts find one another, and Tsavo becomes the natural destination, bordering the land where their mothers were born. They know exactly who rules this territory. They advance in silence. They hide. They watch. They wait. When strength is on their side and the old ruler is reduced to a shadow of his former self, the moment finally arrives. Those who once commanded power are now bent by time. Even the lionesses tremble not for themselves, but for the small lives hidden beneath their legs. The final purge of the old dynasty begins. This is not cruelty alone, but a brutally efficient strategy. Raising cubs suppresses ovulation in lionesses for nearly 2 years. By eliminating the offspring, the male halts prolactin production and forces the female's reproductive cycle to restart within weeks. This is how selfish genes secure their survival. Soon after new cubs are born, attentive care from both males and females ushers in a rare period of calm in Tsavo. Once again, the relentless machinery of nature resumes its course. Beyond the conflict, Tsavo's native manaless lions begin to lift their heads. Fear fades with the fall of the former rulers. The future remains uncertain, filled with threats and unanswered questions, but for now, the true kings of Tsavo have reclaimed their dignity. The manless lion has always been, and will remain, the true emblem of Tsavo. In the waters of the Mara River, danger never rests. In the heart of East Africa, where the endless plains of the Serengeti merge with the Masai Mara Valley, one of the most unforgiving survival arenas on Earth unfolds. At dawn, golden light washes over rolling grasslands where countless animals move relentlessly forward, guided by ancient instincts toward fertile ground after the rains. Yet beneath this serene beauty lies a fragile reality, where every step can determine life or death. Across the vast African plains, a cloud of red dust rises beneath the hooves of tens of thousands of zebras. Year after year, they undertake one of the planet's greatest migrations, nearly 800 kilometers across Tanzania and Kenya, heading north toward the Mara River, a lethal scar cutting through the Savanna. An adult zebra can reach over 2 meters in length and weigh close to 300 kilograms. Their striking black and white stripes are far more than decoration. Shaped by millions of years of evolution, the pattern helps regulate body temperature under the relentless sun, disrupts predators' visual perception, and even reduces attacks from blood-feeding insects. Each pattern is unique, allowing foals to recognize their mothers within the apparent chaos of the herd. As herbivores, zebras lack claws or fangs to defend themselves. Survival depends on speed, and the explosive power of their hind legs kicks strong enough to break a lion's bones. They travel in large social groups, typically led by a dominant male alongside several females and their offspring. This cohesion serves as their primary shield against constant threats. Lions, hyenas, wild dogs, and crocodiles shadow every stage of the journey. A mare's gestation lasts between 12 and 13 months, usually resulting in a single foal. Remarkably, within minutes of birth, the newborn can stand and follow its mother, an essential advantage in a land where danger never pauses. Even so, fewer than half of all foals survive their first year. A stark reminder of nature's severity. Like a living river of black and white, the herd presses onward, drawing closer to the north. But the most lethal challenge still lies ahead, the infamous Mara River. Beneath its murky, deceptively calm surface, danger waits in silence. The water appears still, yet massive shadows drift below. A crocodile master of ambush lurks just meters away, its cold yellow eyes barely breaking the surface. Motionless as living stone, these predators wait for the perfect instant. Then the crossing begins. Water erupts into chaos in a fraction of a second. A massive crocodile explodes upward, jaws wide. Some zebras reach the far bank, leaving behind a violent swirl of foam, blood, and sediment. But This moment is only another routine event for the river's hunters. Beneath the surface, the colossal shadow slips back into silence, patient, waiting for the next chance. Across countless Mara crossings, few animals escape the jaws of these ancient predators. River crocodiles have existed since prehistoric times, changing little over more than 200 million years of evolution, remaining a constant threat to any herd that dares enter their domain. An adult can exceed 5 meters in length and weigh more than 700 kilograms. Its body is wrapped in thick, armor-like scales, and its golden eyes shine even in dark waters. Its jaws close with a bite force exceeding 2,000 kilograms, the most powerful in the animal kingdom, capable of crushing bone with ease. Crocodiles are ambush specialists. They can remain perfectly still for hours, floating like driftwood. But when the moment comes, every muscle fires at once, a lightning strike of teeth that seize the prey and drag it beneath the surface. Once captured, the victim is subjected to the infamous death roll, tearing flesh as the water turns red. With a slow metabolism, these reptiles can go months without feeding. Their highly developed senses allow them to see and hear while nearly fully submerged. For all these reasons, during the Great Migration, the Mara River becomes the ultimate hunting ground, an arena perfectly suited to one of nature's most formidable predators. In the Mara River, where danger never truly fades, the threat does not come solely from the crushing jaws of crocodiles. These waters belong to another giant as well, the hippopotamus, the silent ruler of Africa's rivers. From the murky current, a massive dark shape rises. Bloodshot eyes glint beneath the fading light as it watches a pride of lions cautiously approaching the riverbank. Lions reign over the land. Hippos command the water. Two kingdoms, two immense forces meeting at a fragile boundary where life and death brush against each other. The tension erupts without warning. The clash is sudden and violent, yet it leaves no clear victor. Along this brutal stretch of the Mara, one truth remains unquestioned with bone-crushing jaws and an unforgiving temperament. Hippos continue to dominate the river as its undisputed masters. Reaching nearly 4 meters in length and protected by skin up to 5 centimeters thick, hippos may appear slow and clumsy at first glance, but beneath that bulk lies extraordinary power. Their mouths can open almost 180 degrees, revealing tusks over half a meter long, capable of delivering a bite even stronger than a lion's. Despite their size, hippos can sprint on land at speeds approaching 30 kilometers per hour and remain submerged for 4 to 5 minutes with ease, a clear warning to any intruder. Unlike lions or crocodiles, they are not meat hunters. Their diet is almost entirely herbivorous, and each night they may leave the water to consume up to 40 kilograms of grass. Yet their intense aggression and fierce territorial instinct make the hippopotamus one of Africa's most dangerous animals. Any challenger, whether crocodile or lion, that dares to test its authority risks paying a heavy price. During reproduction, a female's gestation lasts about 8 months, and she typically gives birth to a single calf, often in the water itself. At birth, the calf weighs around 40 kilograms, can swim immediately, and even nurses beneath the surface. From its first moments, it is shielded within the tight defensive circle of its mother and herd a closely bonded social structure that may include dozens of individuals. Most confrontations end with the intruder retreating, while the hippos retain control beneath the muddy waters. Still, even these formidable giants are not entirely untouchable. On rare occasions, massive crocodiles or reckless lions attempt an attack, but almost always, the target is a calf. This vulnerability marks the only crack in their seemingly absolute power. A young calf follows its mother toward the river, unaware of the rules of survival. When a colossal shadow rises from below, the water erupts in chaos. But the story does not end there. From the riverbed, the mother surges upward in explosive fury, turning the Mara into a violent storm of blood and foam. She charges straight at the crocodile. In the end, the reptile lies lifeless, drifting in the dark current. The female lifts her head, eyes blazing, standing guard. It is a scene that captures the raw force and near-sacred power of maternal instinct in the Mara River. In this river of death, strength is not born only from tusks or muscle, but from the unbreakable bond between mother and offspring. And it is this fierce devotion that transforms the seemingly calm, plant-eating hippopotamus into a force capable of defying every law of survival. And so, the story of the lion comes to an end, the undisputed symbol of power in the African savanna. A realm where dominance is never permanent and the crown must be defended every single day. Here, authority is not inherited. It is earned through blood, endurance, and split-second decisions. Every confrontation, every hunt, every roar carried by the wind is a declaration of survival. In this unforgiving land, even the king walks a fragile line. One mistake, one injury, one moment of weakness can turn the hunter into the hunted. Every breath matters. Every heartbeat determines whether the reign continues or comes to an end. The savanna does not honor titles, it recognizes only those who can adapt and endure one more day. The lion does not rule by strength alone, but by its ability to face a world where life and death are separated by a single step. And as the sun sinks beyond the African horizon, its silhouette reminds us of an eternal truth in the wild. Power is temporary, but the struggle to survive never ends. If the raw strength and beauty of the natural world inspire you, don't forget to subscribe to Beast Call Nature and join us in the next adventure as we continue to explore the secrets of nature in its purest form. In the vast kingdom of the wild, survival is not a passive instinct, it is a struggle pushed to the very edge of desperation. This is a world where each day ignites a silent battle, where life is defended through speed, strength, and decisions made in a fraction of a second. Here, confrontations are not fought for glory, only for continuity. Hunger drives the attack, fear demands escape, and exhaustion turns every encounter into an extreme test. The fight for survival is raw, relentless, and often merciless. Because losing does not mean retreat, it means vanishing. In this untamed arena, there are no guarantees and no truces, only creatures driven to their limits, facing one another in a constant struggle for existence. This is the true face of the animal world. A battlefield where to live is to endure, and to endure is to fight until the very last breath. Under the relentless African sun, the Masai Mara unfolds as a living canvas of untamed wilderness. Vast stretches of golden grass sway endlessly beneath dry winds, carrying the scent of red soil and the raw pulse of life itself. In this iconic region of Kenya, more than 2,500 square kilometers of savanna merge with winding rivers, thorny thickets, and gently rolling hills, forming one of the most remarkable ecosystems on Earth. Each morning, the sky ignites with deep crimson hues, signaling the beginning of an extraordinary spectacle. Across the plains, millions of wildebeest and zebras move together in the Great Migration, their hooves shaking the ground like distant thunder. A lion's roar echoes through the open land, while the streamlined form of a cheetah slips silently through tall grass at breathtaking speed. Above, more than 470 species of birds, from soaring vultures to elegant flamingos, fill the air, while on the ground, Thompson's gazelles and towering ostriches shape the daily rhythm of the savanna. Yet the Masai Mara is far more than a beautiful landscape. It is a proving ground where survival is tested every day. Predators and prey are bound together in an endless struggle for existence. Lions, the dominant force of the plains, rely on teamwork, powerful claws, and thunderous roars that can travel for kilometers to secure their territory. Cheetahs, built for speed rather than strength, depend on explosive acceleration to capture prey, often risking their hard-earned meal to stronger rivals. The ostrich stands as a remarkable example of adaptation. Reaching heights of nearly 2.7 meters and capable of running close to 70 kilometers per hour, it is both imposing and agile. Within the Masai Mara, an estimated 200 to 400 lions hunt large herbivores such as antelope, zebras, and wildebeest, and they frequently steal kills from cheetahs. Despite a hunting success rate of nearly 50%, cheetahs become extremely vulnerable after their short but exhausting chases, making them easy targets for lions or hyenas. With large eyes capable of detecting danger from great distances, the ostrich relies on speed and powerful kicks to evade threats. Although it is not a predator, it plays a crucial role in the ecosystem by consuming large quantities of grass, seeds, and insects, helping maintain ecological balance. This constant competition among species is the heartbeat of the Masai Mara, a land where every moment determines survival or loss within the endless cycle of the savanna. Balance is essential in this fragile environment. Lions help regulate populations of large herbivores, preventing overgrazing that could strip the land of vegetation. Cheetahs focus on smaller antelope, complementing the lion's role in maintaining order. Ostriches, through their feeding habits, indirectly support other species. Even the remains of a zebra weighing over 300 kilograms become nourishment for hyenas, vultures, and jackals, sustaining a complex and interconnected food web. However, this delicate balance faces growing threats. Habitat loss, increasing conflict with human communities, and climate change place immense pressure on wildlife. As the sun sinks low and bathes the Masai Mara in golden light, a slender figure cuts through the tall grass like an arrow released into the wind. It is the cheetah, the embodiment of speed. Weighing between 40 and 60 kilograms, the cheetah represents a rare blend of grace and power. Its body is engineered to reach nearly 100 kilometers per hour in just a few seconds. Its golden coat, covered in dark spots, provides natural camouflage and helps release excess heat under the scorching African sun. Large eyes offer a wide field of vision, while the distinctive black tear lines running from eye to muzzle reduce glare and enhance focus during daylight hunts. Yet this incredible speed comes at a high cost. After each intense chase, a cheetah's heart rate can soar beyond 200 beats per minute, and its body temperature rises to dangerous levels, forcing it to stop and recover. Picture the scene beneath the vast African sky. A female cheetah lies motionless in the grass. Golden eyes scanning the horizon, She does not rule through raw power, but through precision, timing, and mastery of movement. The cheetah's lineage is like a thread drawn thinner with each passing millennium, nearly snapped by ancient global upheavals. The species endured, but survival came at a heavy cost. Today's cheetahs are remarkably similar at a genetic level, almost indistinguishable reflections of one another, carrying within their DNA the unmistakable imprint of a near extinction. They are a fragile triumph of evolution, racing against the limits of time. Cheetahs are solitary hunters. Unlike lions, they do not rely on the strength of a group, but instead depend on patience, precision, and sudden bursts of speed. In the Masai Mara, they hunt mostly during daylight hours, favoring the cool moments of early morning and late afternoon to avoid extreme heat and the risks posed by nocturnal predators. Their prey includes Thompson's gazelles, impalas, and the young of wildebeest or zebra's nimble animals, yet unable to match speeds that can reach between 95 and 105 kilometers per hour. A hunt begins in tense stillness, hidden among tall grasses. The cheetah locks its gaze onto the open plain, carefully calculating every movement of its target. Then, in a decisive moment, it explodes forward with an acceleration approaching 13 meters per second squared, rivaling and even surpassing that of a racehorse. Each stride covers an extraordinary distance, and its hunting success rate hovers around 50% higher than that of many larger predators. Yet speed alone does not guarantee safety. Hyenas and leopards pose constant threats, often forcing cheetahs to hunt at dawn or dusk, when these rivals are less active and the risk of confrontation is reduced. These encounters reveal the cheetah's vulnerable position within the food web. Despite being the fastest land animal on Earth, it is frequently outmatched by stronger competitors and driven away from its kill. Still, its greatest weapon speed has been refined to near perfection. In this delicate dance between pursuit and survival, the cheetah's tail becomes a silent partner. More than a simple extension of the body, it acts as a living rudder, guiding subtle shifts in balance and direction. With it, the cheetah does more than run. It carves its path through space, mirroring every sudden turn of its fleeing prey. The lion Panthera leo stands as the clearest embodiment of dominance on the African savanna. Its authority is built on immense physical strength, strong social bonds, and a roar that can travel for kilometers across open land. As dawn breaks over the Masai Mara, the lion emerges as a living symbol of power and unmistakable presence that commands respect. Its weapons are precise and devastating. Blade-like claws, nearly 4 centimeters long, slice through flesh with ease, while canines reaching up to 7 centimeters function as lethal instruments. Yet the lion's effectiveness goes far beyond raw force. Its senses have been refined through millions of years of evolution. With night vision up to 6 times stronger than that of humans, the lion can detect movement in near total darkness. This advantage comes from the tapetum lucidum, a reflective layer behind the retina that amplifies available light and produces the familiar glow of a lion's eyes after sunset. Even so, the lion's greatest strength is neither tooth nor claw, but sound. Its roar is the voice of the savanna itself. More than a call, it is a proclamation of ownership, rolling across the plains to signal that the land is claimed. This acoustic dominance allows lions to control vast territories without constant physical confrontation. Unlike the cheetah, which relies on speed and hunts alone, lions live and hunt in structured prides, typically made up of 5 to 15 individuals, though some groups grow far larger. Lionesses lead the hunts with precise coordination, moving like a disciplined unit, while males focus on territorial defense and the protection of cubs. Together, they form one of the most effective hunting societies in the natural world. As the sun climbs above the Masai Mara, the open grasslands become the stage for the lion's most dramatic hunts. Unlike the cheetah, which relies on raw speed to capture smaller prey, lions take on animals that are larger, stronger, and far more dangerous. Their hunts unfold like a deadly choreography of patience, timing, and coordination. Hidden within tall grass, members of the pride move silently, splitting into smaller groups to surround their target. Once the distance closes to roughly 30 to 60 meters, the ambush begins, cutting off every possible escape route. Some lions leap onto the prey's back, driving their claws deep, while others aim for the neck or muzzle, locking their jaws around the throat until breathing stops. When confronting formidable animals such as buffalo, the struggle can last for hours, with the prey fighting fiercely for survival. Still, persistence and teamwork usually prevail. Group hunts succeed roughly 30% of the time, an impressive rate given the risks involved. Picture the moment a zebra grazes peacefully, its striped coat glowing in the sunlight. Without warning, 3 lionesses burst from the grass. The zebra bolts, but every exit has already been anticipated. Lions do not hunt only at night. They take advantage of dawn and dusk, when low light offers natural camouflage. During the dry season, when water sources shrink to rivers like the Mara, lions often wait near watering holes. Sometimes a distant roar from a male sparks panic, driving prey directly into the trap. This blend of strategy and brute force makes the lion one of nature's most efficient hunters. Battles for control within a pride can be just as intense. When new males seize dominance, they may kill the cubs sired by their predecessors to ensure their own genetic legacy. Harsh as it seems, this behavior is part of the species' evolutionary strategy. Females carry their young for about 110 days, giving birth to 2 to 4 cubs weighing barely 1 or 2 kilograms. The pride protects them closely. Lionesses nurse communally and later teach the cubs the skills needed to hunt. In the Masai Mara, legendary prides such as the Marsh Pride or the Notch lineage have been documented ruling territories that span dozens of square kilometers. Here, lions are not merely predators, they are true architects of the ecosystem. Through strength, numbers, and coordination, they sit firmly at the top of the food chain. They are also skilled opportunists, frequently stealing kills from cheetahs and hyenas. After a cheetah completes an exhausting chase, it is not uncommon for a lion to appear silently, imposing and unchallenged, to claim the prize. Lions even hunt ostriches, though these birds are among the most challenging prey on the savanna. Capable of running nearly 70 kilometers per hour and delivering kicks powerful enough to kill a lion, ostriches present a serious risk. Beyond hunting, the lion's ecological role is vital. By controlling populations of herbivores such as zebras, wildebeest, and buffalo, lions prevent overgrazing that could devastate the grasslands. The remains of their kills then sustain hyenas, vultures, and jackals, keeping the ecosystem in motion. Shared by both cheetahs and lions, the ostrich Struthiocamelus stands out as an exceptional opponent, combining speed, strength, and constant vigilance. Reaching heights of up to 2.7 meters and weighing between 100 and 160 kilograms, it is the largest flightless bird on Earth and a familiar presence across the Masai Mara. Its survival depends on power and acceleration. An ostrich can sprint at over 70 kilometers per hour, nearly matching a cheetah over short distances, with strides stretching up to 5 meters. Unlike smaller prey, it wields muscular legs capable of delivering devastating kicks strong enough to break a cheetah's bones or kill a lion outright. Massive eyes, about 5 centimeters in diameter, give the ostrich an almost panoramic field of vision, allowing it to spot danger from afar. Combined with sharp hearing and a keen sense of smell, these senses provide early warning. Ostriches typically live in groups of 5 to 20 individuals, sometimes gathering in much larger numbers during migrations, creating an effective collective alert system. Their eggs, weighing more than 1.4 kilograms, attract many predators, but females defend their nests aggressively. For cheetahs, ostriches are tempting yet risky targets, especially when young or isolated. On flat terrain, the cheetah's advantage lies in its explosive speed. It stalks from distances of 1 to 200 meters, using tall grass as cover, and launches its attack when the bird is unaware. Even then, the ostrich's endurance and agility often complicate the chase. Cheetahs exhaust themselves after just 20 to 30 seconds of intense running, and in this contest, the balance can shift instantly. It is a reminder of the fragile equilibrium that defines life in the Masai Mara. Lions confront ostriches differently. Though not a primary prey like zebra or buffalo, ostriches become valuable during times of scarcity. Prides use encirclement tactics. Some lions drive confusion and panic, while others strike from the sides or rear. In the endless struggle of the savanna, adaptability remains the greatest weapon of all. Hunting an ostrich is never a simple task. With powerful legs capable of delivering kicks strong enough to be fatal and the ability to sprint at remarkable speeds, this bird is a dangerous opponent in open terrain. For this reason, lions succeed in only about 15 to 20% of their attempts. Most of the time, they focus on young birds or isolated individuals that have fallen behind the group, where the risk is lower and the chances of success improve. Both the cheetah and the lion play essential roles within the ecosystem, though their influence takes different forms. The cheetah, by targeting smaller and faster prey, helps keep certain herbivore populations in check and prevents excessive pressure on the grasslands. However, its solitary lifestyle and the frequent loss of its kills to stronger competitors reduce its overall impact, especially in areas densely populated by lions. The lion, by contrast, functions as a true architect of the savanna. By hunting large herbivores, it regulates their numbers and helps maintain the balance that allows the ecosystem to thrive. In the ongoing story of survival in the Masai Mara, both the cheetah and the lion stand as remarkable examples of nature's precision and adaptability, each defined by a distinct hunting strategy. Yet it is the lion that ultimately emerges as the dominant force through collective strength, the ability to take down massive prey, and its position at the top of the food chain. The lion shapes the fate of the Masai Mara more than any other predator. Which of these animals impressed you the most with its skills and adaptations? Share your thoughts in the comments. In the untamed heart of the African savanna lives a predator as beautiful as it is extraordinary: the African wild dog. Its mottled coat of black, yellow, brown, and white looks like a work of art shaped by nature itself, unique to each individual, like a personal fingerprint. Unlike the solitary leopard or the dominant lion, the African wild dog thrives through teamwork, cooperation, and flawless coordination. Its packs may consist of 10 individuals or several dozen, and each member plays an essential role. In Africa, they are not just hunters, they are protectors of their family, symbols of shared survival. Their existence proves that the most efficient predator can also be one of the most cooperative. Across the golden grasslands of the Savanna, the afternoon light slowly spills over a sea of swaying grass. From the vegetation emerge the African wild dogs, silent shadows blending into the landscape like restless ghosts. Every step is measured, calculated. Damp muzzles quiver, ears swivel, eyes remain fixed with absolute concentration. Their attention is locked onto a group of impalas grazing nearby, unaware of the threat closing in. The impalas move calmly, their relaxed rhythm projecting a false sense of safety. Then, an invisible signal ripples through the pack. Without a single sound, the calm shatters. Suddenly, they all launch the attack. Silence turns into chaos, bodies surge forward, muscles tighten, and the chase explodes with terrifying speed. The ground trembles beneath the impala's hooves, grass snapping under desperate flight. In seconds, the outcome is decided: a precise bite, followed by others. The prey falls, overwhelmed by collective force. As quickly as it began, everything ends. Silence returns to the Savanna. The hunt is over. The first to feed are the youngest. The pups eat before the adults. The meal is more than nourishment. It is a display of care, cooperation, and family bonds. In an unforgiving world, African wild dogs embody a rare balance, fierce and precise in the hunt, yet deeply affectionate within their group. Strength and unity, strategy and tenderness, a reminder that in nature, survival can also be built on cooperation. The wild dog's feast had not yet ended when a new shadow stretched across the golden grasslands of Africa. Hyenas had arrived, relentless opportunists, following the scent of blood with fierce determination and insatiable hunger. Their harsh, unsettling laughter echoed across the savannah, a chilling signal announcing to every nearby creature that the thieves were here. Then chaos erupted. The hyenas charged violently, jaws snapping like steel as they hurled themselves at the carcass. The wild dogs responded with courage, leaping forward in fury, teeth clashing against the powerful jaws of their rivals. For a few moments, resistance held, but the pressure was overwhelming. Within minutes, the pack's cohesion began to fracture under the relentless assault of the invaders. The prize changed hands. The hyenas claimed the kill, surrendering themselves to their voracity. They tore into the antelope without mercy, muzzles stained red, their laughter vibrating through the air and chilling any witness to the bone. The defeated dogs withdrew in silence, disappearing into the grass, leaving behind not only the meal, but an echo of defeat and a harsh lesson in endurance. Across the harsh expanse of the African savanna, life grants no truces. Victory and defeat, life and death are endlessly intertwined. In this brutal episode, the hyenas claimed triumph, and the African wild dogs were forced into a bitter retreat, a cruel reminder that on the savanna, survival is never guaranteed. Across the open African savanna, the giraffe immediately commands attention with its remarkable height. Towering above the grasslands, it can browse the highest leaves of acacia trees, food sources far beyond the reach of most other herbivores. This elevated viewpoint also serves as a natural lookout, allowing the giraffe to spot potential threats from a great distance and react long before danger draws near. Yet this impressive advantage comes with a clear risk. When a giraffe lowers itself to drink, spreading its long front legs and bending its body, it briefly enters a vulnerable and unstable position. Predators such as lions and even crocodiles near rivers may seize this moment. To survive, the giraffe relies on speed and power. Its long legs deliver swift acceleration and long strides, and if threatened at close range, a single kick from its hind legs can be powerful enough to seriously injure or deter an attacker. By feeding on the upper canopy of trees, giraffes help shape the structure of the landscape, preventing overgrowth and encouraging plant diversity below. Their role extends far beyond survival alone. They are an essential link in the food web. Through their daily movements and feeding habits, giraffes contribute to the balance and resilience of the ecosystem. Standing as one of the quiet guardians of the African savanna, and so, this journey through the realm of wildlife comes to an end, a world where survival is not an act of heroism, but a relentless necessity. Here, conflicts are not fought for glory or triumph, but for one more heartbeat, one more step forward, one fleeting chance to remain alive. Every encounter leaves unseen scars, exhausted bodies, watchful eyes, and silences heavy with loss. This is the true face of the wild raw, uncompromising and profoundly real. reminder that existence in its purest form has always been a struggle and will remain so as long as the heart of nature continues to beat.